Good morning. Good morning to replay viewers. Good morning to web viewers or people who are watching on Catch. Good morning, everybody. Let me move this. Hi, guys. How are you? Oh, how are you? Yay! Good morning. You get straight hair, Michelle, today because I found my curling iron. I was like, oh, I want to flip around my hair today. No. So here's what happened with that. Let me tell you real quick. My name's Michelle Wolf, and you can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. Everything I do is on that website. There's tabs across the top. The next workshop coming up is for men, and it starts February 16th. If you want information, let me know. What happened with the A-team? So Morgan's had problems with her job, so she found a new job, got hired on the spot. You guys know that much. Well, she's really been dreading in the hair. Oh, thanks. In the hair industry, when you turn in notice, you are told to leave. So people generally just leave. And the reason is they don't want you taking your clients with you. So there's no gap. So people usually find a job before they leave, and they leave the same day. So she was planning on doing that on Saturday. And I was so tired. Good morning. I was so tired last night. I called her and I was like, how much? She didn't have any clients today anyway. So I was like, so if you cancel today, what's it going to cost? Like, can I afford to give you a day off so that I can have a day off? And we got to brainstorming, and she was really heavy in her heart, and I was really heavy in my heart, and we talked a lot. And between all of us, her grandma and me and her, we figured out a way that she can just go ahead and quit and be done. And as soon as we decided that, everybody's spirits got lighter, and I was still really tired. Yeah, but not as tired. So she's going to go pick up her stuff today and have a few days off before she starts at the new place on Monday. So living in alignment with these principles, you pay attention to those heavy feelings, and you might not get the answer right away. It might take a little conversation and a little brainstorming, like, well, what about this way and what about that way? And then everybody kind of thinks about it, and you're like, well, how about this? And yes, good time for a break. Everybody gets a break. So we'll go down Saturday and actually have a good time with her and get to see her and help her with some heavy stuff, take her a table, that kind of stuff. So, good for everyone living in alignment with spiritual impulses. My impulse was to ask that question, and it turned into me getting relief and her getting relief. Everybody getting relief. Yay! It's awesome. So, I'll be on again at 2 o'clock today talking about, for the Lemon Droppers group or for anyone who's around. Yes, and I told Morgan, don't you dare do anything worky today. Rest. Catch up on all your DVR shows. And she said, she was bitching and complaining. She was like, well, can I go to the gym? I was like, yeah, go to the gym? That's relaxing for you. For me, it'd be like, oh, hell no. I'm not going to the gym. What are you talking about? It is. It's one of Sarah Ballard's malas. It is called Simply Love. It reminds me that when I stay focused in love and follow the impulses of that, what do you know? Life works really well. Today I'll be around this afternoon talking to my Young Living Lemon Droppers group, of which Jana and Catherine are part of, about this book, Taming Your Gremlin. It's a great book for stopping negative self-talk. It's a nice entry book. So, today, hi Jana, you snuck in so quickly. Course in Miracles today. Hello. Are you here for A Course in Miracles? What's today's date, you guys? I should check this before I get on here. I do sound like her. I got compared to Adele and Tracy Chapman when I was singing, and some other girl from Australia. The 14th, thanks. Yeah, good. I'm glad you laughed out loud. The cats love to hear me sing. My tattoo and my cats don't go. Oh, right. Oh, right. God, what was that song? I hate Lionel Richie. Thank you. It's too much work. I feel great. I feel great because I get today off to just hang and come back and talk to you again at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. I'll be talking for the Lemon Droppers group and whoever else is around. I tell you what, every time I prove to myself that living this way works, I get a little more excited. I get a little more determined and devoted to the process. And how did you not know what? I missed something. When every day starts to happen where, Kelly's going to put something in the group later today. 2 o'clock Eastern Time. She hasn't put it in the group yet. I think she's going to put it in Team Believe. So, it'll just be about a half-hour scope. That just got decided yesterday. Or actually, the time just got decided this morning. When you start to ask for the world to talk to you through synchronicities and impulses and signs and whatever, and it actually does, it's weird in the beginning. It can weird you out because you're like, oh my God, God's talking to me through Periscope or song lyrics or whatever. And then the longer I experience that, the less weird it gets and the more exciting it gets. Like, oh wow, I really can be a part of creating this world around me. I really can. Yeah, we've missed you too. Or another person, someone calls you, someone on Periscope says, hey, I just got some information for you. I don't know you. Email me. That happened to someone else on here who I'll let self-identify. After asking for information, one of the readers on Periscope was like, I got just shown your name and here's what I heard. And it was perfect. So, lesson number 14 today, and these things are a direct result of Course in Miracles work and Desire Map principles and Byron Katie. All that stuff combined since July. Every day since July. Every single day. So in 6 months-ish, my life is totally different. Completely different. It's the daily practice. It really doesn't matter what method you choose. Into one big giant ball of fun with straight hair and new tattoos. God did not create a meaningless world. Okay, we create a meaningless world. We create a misleading, meaningful world. Let's read some more. The idea for today is the reason why a meaningless world is impossible. What God did not create does not exist, and everything that does exist exists as He created it. The world that you see has nothing to do with reality. It is of your own making, and it does not exist. And they're talking about we make the world with our stories. So we look at a tree and we begin the labeling process and the storytelling process. We even see a dog and we create the labeling and storytelling process. And if we had good experiences with dogs, we create fun, happy stories about dogs. And if we had bad experiences with dogs, we create stories about how dogs are scary. It's all our storytelling, and that world is not a real world. If it was real, it wouldn't change minute by minute based on your perception. If it was real, two people looking at it would see the same thing, and two people looking out a window see different things. So it can't be real. If it's perceptually, if your perception is dictated by the eyes you're looking from, it's not real. Me too. Welcome here. It's a story. So the good news is, I mean, the sad news is sometimes we've lived a very long period of time wrapped up in our stories. The good news is we are the storytellers, so we get to change the story. So we have all the power that we need to change our story. And changing our stories changes our perception of the world, and it gets more in line with the actual real world, which is storyless. That's our Tao Te Ching stuff. And by doing so, is the do without doing. So things start happening and you aren't doing them. The only thing you're doing is being responsible for what story you're placing in the world. Is this making sense? Yeah. So I'm telling a story about the world. I start to change that story. The world I see starts to change. And that can be, I guess, positive or negative, depending on if you want to label it. If I'm changing my perception to be storyless, and I'm coming into alignment with what God tells me the world is, or source, my experience of being connected to God, my experience of being connected to love, shows me the reality of the world. Yes, conscious creators. We are consciously creating. Yes, we become aligned to the truth. We change allegiance. Our allegiance changes to being loyal to the truth, not loyal and defensive of our stories. So we have an enormous amount of power there, and when we learn to use it, I can't even tell you. Oh, Love Tribe. I've seen that hashtag. So let's change our stories, okay? The exercises for today are to be practiced with your eyes closed throughout. The mind-searching period should be short, a minute at most. No more than 3 today, unless you find them comfortable. If they're comfortable, do more. If you become stressed, do not do more than 3. The idea is another step in learning to let go of the thoughts you have written on the world, your story, and see the Word of God in their place. The early steps can truly be called salvation. I absolutely agree with that word. We are being saved. The more we learn to be conscious co-creators, the more we learn to align with truth, we are saved. We are experiencing salvation. Some of these processes lead you directly into fear, but you won't be left in your fear. Right. You will start to remember that love is all there is. Sorry about the buzzing. I forgot to turn off the notifications. You will go far beyond fear, and our direction is toward perfect safety and perfect peace. Now, with your eyes closed, think of all the horrors in the world that cross your mind. Name each one as it occurs to you, and then deny its reality. God did not create it, and so it's not real. So say, for example, God did not create that war, and so it is not real. God did not create that airplane crash, and so it is not real. God did not create that Donald Trump, and so it is not real. I'm just kidding. You could say God did not create our political system, and so it's not real. It's not real unless we make it into some distorted version of reality for ourselves through our storytelling. So suitable subjects also a clue. Yeah, our money system is not real because it was not created by God. God created peace and safety. God is there. We've twisted it with our storytelling. And we have free will, Susan. So I see what you're getting at. Our political system is, every single thing is, we have free will to tell our stories about what we're seeing. So the difference is, the not reality part is this. Some people see Donald Trump and see a hero. Some people see Donald Trump and see the Antichrist. They're looking for the mark of the devil on him. So it's the perception. Donald Trump himself is a real person. There's real and there's this different definition of real, which I'm not sure if I can entirely explain. But the meaningless part of it is the story we put on him. He's not either one. He's not a hero or the Antichrist. He is just him. He's an extension of us. We're all one. So that can be uncomfortable, and it's a great place to practice thinking that Donald Trump is another ray of light from the sun expressed in a body, just like we are rays of light from the sun expressing in different bodies. We're all in different bodies, but our source, if you think of the sun analogy, is the same. The light source is the same. We're all expressing differently. The stories are polar opposites, and neither one are good or bad. Perception's not the real part, because perception changes moment to moment. One minute we love someone, the next minute we hate them. Real things don't change. Love doesn't change. Love never changes. Love is constant. It's the only constant that I'm aware of. It's the only thing that never changes. Perception changes all day long, minute to minute, person to person. It's constantly, yeah, we make it that way in our heads. My coffee today is instant. I'm thinking God didn't make that. God didn't make instant coffee. And I'm so sorry that you're drinking instant coffee. How did that happen? Desperate times. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's like a Greek tragedy having to drink instant coffee. God is within all expressing differently based on the person who's seeing the expression. Oh, Catherine, that's the worst news ever. I will drink some decent coffee on your behalf. And then since we're in the middle, my name's Michelle Wolf, and CaddyshackDesigns.com is where you can find me. The practice is understanding that the stories and the labels, good or bad, are the meaningless part. So we can actually perceive each other through eyes of love all the time, even when we're doing stupid things like having spouting off at the mouth. Thank you, Michelle. Spouting off nonsense and fear-mongering and feeding on, creating fear and then feeding on that fear, which is like an emotional vampire. And it all has to do with what I'll be talking about at 2 o'clock, which is what's going on in your noggin, your self-talk. Your self-talk is your storyteller. If you make friends with your storyteller, it's a lot easier to tell a different story. In each case, name the disaster specifically. So don't say God did not create illness, but do say God did not create cancer or heart attacks or whatever's scary for you. Cancer is scary for me. I know that most people survive it now, but still the word cancer, growing up, there's lots of fear related to that. My family is cray-cray, but as cray-cray, I still see, yes, Susan, it's the best. It's the best feeling to, and it doesn't mean that you spend time with crazy people, but you can still love them. Yeah, you can love them from afar. Sometimes loving from afar is the best you can do. Joe Biden's going to cure cancer now. Wow, good for him. Oh, what a hero. Yes, me too, Catherine. I have an irrational, it's kind of irrational. Here's how we can see people, right? Tanya Beckmore made this for me. She took the Desire Map workshop, and then this was my, can you see that? It's kind of shiny. It says Divine Beloved. A fear of missing out, that's what keeps Facebook in business. Fear of missing out keeps Periscope in business. We can't stand the thought that we might miss something. Right? I gotta check my Facebook. I've been asleep for 4 hours. Something cool might have happened. And very rarely is that true. Guys, one of my goals for this year was to stop checking Facebook the first thing when I wake up in the morning, and I've only been about 50% successful with that. Okay, guys. This is having you make a list of your own personal horror stories. So for me, that list would be sharks and cancer and what else? Yeah, fear of missing out could be one. Well, be careful, Susan, because it can grab you. Yeah, she just made a page because we peer pressured her. We peer pressured Susan into making a Facebook page. So you make a list of your horror stories, and then you go through them and say this: God did not create that shark. So it's meaningless. The fact is, God did not create the story about the shark. Yeah, we led her down the primrose thorn-infested path of Facebook. God did not create my fear of missing out, so it's meaningless. God did not create fear of cancer, fear of missing out, FOMO. Fear of missing out. It's what gets you addicted to Periscope and Facebook and Twitter and stuff because you're like afraid that you're going to miss something. God did not create a meaningless world. Our stories are the meaninglessness. Apply this to anything that disturbs you throughout the day. Let me see if I can... Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this issue. Okay, we're good. Fixed it. Okay, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not create whatever situation is disturbing you today, and so it is not real. I know, right? Notifications are like set up to make sure that I don't miss out on a single tweet of Michelle's. So I have her set for notifications. Every tweet Michelle sends, I get notice of. That's because you're smart like that. You're smarter than the rest of us. Let's talk about this. About money, 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 money. Law of divine compensation. Course in Miracles. That is love. Oh, God, no, you're not alone. Especially not in this group. We're all basically the same person. Sorry, not sorry. Excuse me. Okay. When anything, let's see. As long as we make love our bottom line, our lives will naturally prosper. We don't have to do anything specific. Although I did buy lottery tickets last night, but I haven't checked them. As long as we make love our bottom line, our lives will naturally prosper. And it's not that we sit on the couch and don't do anything and binge on Netflix. We get impulses to call somebody. We get an impulse to sign up for a newsletter that leads to something else. We get impulses to act that we can actually hear because we're listening in a different way. Sometimes Sometimes what will later make us a fortune arrives first as a creative impulse. Ouch, there's a cat clawing my butt. Stop it. He likes to claw the part of your butt that shows between the chair. He's kind of a jerk that way. It's a creative impulse that you wouldn't necessarily think is profitable at the time. Any creative impulse you get, follow it. Don't worry about monetizing it. Just follow it, explore it, expand it. Oh my gosh, Tanya. Like 30 minutes. Dang it. I was talking about the thing you made me too. I was talking about this earlier. Oh, God. Yeah, we already did the Course in Miracles talk. I'll be back at 2 to talk about this book that I told Ben about and sent him some YouTube stuff. I'll just start over. Everybody just start over. We're going to talk about this book at 2 o'clock today, Tanya. Hoot. Good Lord, buddy. You need a do-over? Look at this. Oh, here's the dog. And then there's all the 6 more that I have to do. Whoop. The doggy. Oh, he's cute, all right. Now he's in my tripod space. Oh, kitty. Kitty. Move, kitty. Honey, you gotta move. Come on. Come on. Move your butt. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. They have a fear of missing out, too. Cats live their whole lives wondering what you're doing and if they're missing out on something. Okay. Follow all your creative impulses. Do something not because you think it might make money. Do it because it makes your heart sing. We interrupt this broadcast for a catwalk. Thanks, Tanya. I found my curling iron. So I straightened it this morning. It was buried. And I've been doing the Japanese Art of Tidying Up book. And oh man, I find all kinds of stuff. Hey fella. Do something not because you think it might make money. Do it because it makes your heart sing. Yeah, we actually don't have that much stuff. I'm not a hoarder. But there is stuff that I was hanging on to. Yeah, me too. There was stuff I was still keeping just in case. Do you know the minimalist, guys? It's the minimalist. Hold on, I gotta put him down. He's gonna knock my camera over. Oh, come on, big boy. The minimalists say don't keep an item if it can be replaced for less than $20 and within an hour. So don't keep the just in case stuff. You can turn that heater off if you want. So that helps. Yeah, and then the Japanese Art of Tidying Up book has you ask, what does it spark joy, and if it doesn't, get rid of it. Okay, this is really important, so I'm just going to read it over and over. Do something not because you think it might make money. That's what gets us into workshops that don't work. That's what gets us buying goal-setting systems that don't work for us. Because we're not listening to our heart. We're not listening to the voice of love. We're listening to the voice of gotta get. The get voice. Gotta go get it. Yes, it is. Yeah, it definitely is a mindfulness practice with your clothes. Jesus. Oh my. Now we can sing the hello song too. Because you've got a whole different view there. Hello. Hello. And I wasn't even outside. Jesus in my tripod. Oh, brother. Or maybe I've had a little too much coffee. Taking jobs because you are thinking of the money and not your heart is a disaster without fail. Without fail. Writing articles for dentists for the money is a tedious, awful kind of failure. And I've actually stopped doing that. I used to write articles for dental blogs. So the blog posts you see on most doctors and dentists' office are not written by their staff. They're written by someone being paid $5 an article. Sometimes they're here in the U.S., sometimes they're in Pakistan, which is why sometimes the wording can get a little weird. And because I'm a native English speaker and a writer, I can stay busy doing that stuff, but it is so horrible. I know more about dental procedures than I ever wanted to know. I know dental. I know me some dental. I don't know dentists. I just know what they do. I've written many, many, many blog posts. What don't I know? Well, until recently, I haven't known how to make money. Yet. You don't know how to support yourself on the fun jobs yet. Listen to that heart sing. When something lights up your heart, don't question it. Just do it as much as you can. Even if you can only find once a week or 5 minutes a day where you can participate in an activity that totally lights you up. But do that. Do it every day. It will lead you. We get stuck in this goal thing. Like, well, where's it going to go? And if it's not going to go somewhere, then I don't want to do it. Don't worry about where it's going to go. Thanks. It will take you where your heart wants to go. Conclusion. Just do it. Don't worry about where it's going to go. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you means embrace the realization of your oneness with all things, and everything that could contribute to your good will emerge from the power of that thought. You get to a place where you're on the other side of creation, where you see things emerging out of the field of possibilities. You feel the stirring in the quantum field. I know this sounds really ridiculous, but I promise it's true. You start to feel shifting in the quantum field. If you think that quantum physics is true and everything's just a soup, depending on who's perceiving it, it doesn't really exist until you decide to make it exist. It doesn't really come to you until you're open to it coming to you as even being a possibility. I was telling Nina that I used the Young Living Oil Dream Catcher because there's an energetic benefit to that oil if you have come to a point where you believe your dreams can never come true. And I was at that point. I had a lot of dreams, but I didn't really believe that they were possible. It had been too long, and I thought, this is never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So I use that oil, and it restores that. You feel movement, even though you don't know what's moving yet. Yes, I love the Dream Catcher oil. It helped me sleep, and it really woke me up to, it's awesome. It's amazing. It's the first oil I used that I discovered the oil's making an emotional and spiritual impact on me. The Dream Catcher was my gateway oil for that. Yes, you don't have to be nervous on job interviews. You know the next job is going to come. And it's where you're supposed to be. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's so great. It's such amazing progress, Susan. Yeah, think of it that way too. What a great point, Michelle. You're interviewing them too. It's a much different energy. Yay! Go, Susan. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you. If you take responsibility for staying in alignment with the oneness, everything else starts to come. It does. It does. Hi, Linda. And you start to be aware of it coming. Yeah. Let's flip-flop that energy, shall we? So here's how this can look. One day you might find yourself called to a task that makes no money at all, such as Periscope. But if it contributes to your stature as a human being, to your character and integrity, if it teaches you about yourself and the world, if it provides you an opportunity to show up fully for life. Oh, Linda, I'm glad you got here. Then it was a prosperous activity, okay? This is why you should do whatever you feel the creative impulse to do. Yes, scoping made money for me. It is still making money for me, and it's not why I started doing it. One day you might find yourself called to a task that makes no money at all. But if it contributes to you as a human being, if it teaches you about yourself and the world and provides you an opportunity to express yourself fully and authentically, then it's a valuable activity because you just don't know where it's going, right? You just don't know. So the only map you have is your emotions and your creative impulses. Repeat it? I will. One day you might find yourself called to a task that makes no money at all. But if it contributes to your stature as a human being, if it provides you an opportunity to show up fully in your life, then it's a prosperous activity. And I said to express yourself fully and authentically, whether that's just a craft activity or running into someone at Starbucks and sitting down and having a conversation. So another day you might find yourself in a job you don't really love. And yet if you're honest with yourself, you realize it's teaching you. Discipline or humility or responsibility. For you, it's tarot. Cool. Necessary lessons in order to attract and manage money correctly. So you look for take what you can take. While you're looking for other jobs, look at the value you're getting right where you're at. You just love it and decided not to use it for money. If you maintained the attitude of just loving it, money could come through it, but you wouldn't get attached to it. I can see your reasoning in that, but money could still come to you through it as long as you can keep your ego in check, which you do by doing this daily work. It checks your ego. Good. Let us know what happens. What you doing? What are you doing? Hovering or restless? Yes, if you're doing what you love on the side while you're waiting, money can come to you in all kinds of ways. Yes, it can come through all kinds of different avenues. Yeah. Periscope's been the example in my life of that, because I got on it because I wanted a place to be 100% authentic. I didn't have anybody really to talk to about all the things happening in my head and all the books that I loved and all the things that I enjoy talking about. Yes, Michelle's channeling. Really. So Periscope gave me that. I saw other people on Periscope and, yeah, it's incredible. I've had a hard time learning to trust it, but as I validate it through giving the information to other people and having it fit with them, I'm learning to trust that process. Money comes from the universe and will arrive when it's created, not just by a material cause, but by the energy of righteousness. Righteousness means right use of the mind. And the only right use of the mind is love. You can sum all this up in those two sentences. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Money comes from the universe and will arrive when it's created, not just by a material cause, but by the energy of righteousness. And righteousness is defined as right use of your mind. And the only right use of your mind is love. The universe knows what our needs are. God knows what our needs are. Love knows what our needs are. Our needs are, whatever word you put on that. And is programmed to provide for them. I might do that too, Susan. That's a good one. When you start asking, have I provided for love's needs? Oh, darn it. I'll read it again. The universe knows what our needs are and is programmed to provide for them. When you start asking, have I provided for love's needs? More often than you ask, has love provided for my needs? Then the miracles that occur naturally in the presence of love will fall at your feet. Yes. Yes, ma'am. I will. I'll copy these 2 pages and put them in Facebook. Hi, buddy. I have another. Guess whose tail this belongs to. I'm sure it won't be hard for you to figure out. Sweetie. 88 and 89. Oh, no. He's climbing up on mine. Yeah. Surprise! It's Tonka. When you start asking, fear of missing out right here. The naughtiest cat in the world. That's Tonka's Instagram hashtag. Tonka, the naughtiest cat in the world. Yes, cat fear of missing out. Right here. That's their whole life. The universe knows what our needs are and is programmed to provide for them. But we have to do our part. We have to use our mind. He is. I love him. I love him crazy. I love him crazy. And he makes me crazy. All of them do. when you ask, okay, this gets you out of the get mode. When you're in the how can I get money, how can I make money, how can I find money, it doesn't work. You have to reverse that and say, how can I allow it more love to flow through me? How can I express myself more? How can I be a conduit for love more in the world? It is good. It is good. This book is good. And you've got to read it more than once for it to soak in. And pairing it with Course in Miracles study helps. Like this Shawshank scene in reverse. Shawshank Redemption. There's a lot of movies that demonstrate this. That when you shift your focus, Michelle, put a reminder for the Shawshank thing for people who've seen the movie but don't know. To the ego mind, surrender means giving up. To the spiritual mind, surrender means giving in and receiving. It's like every line in this chapter is just killing me. We've been on this chapter for like over a week. To the ego mind, when you finally release the attachment and need to get money, it will flow to you. So Michelle's talking about how in Shawshank Redemption, where he goes in and he keeps trying to get parole, and he keeps telling them all the things that he thinks they want to hear, and they keep denying him. And then he goes in front of the parole board and is like, you know what, screw you. Here I am, I've done it, you're not going to give it to me anyway, whatever. And they give it to him. So in that movie, as soon as he lets go of it all, as soon as he stops trying, as soon as he 100% accepts his situation, he's free. It's a great metaphor. Because that's what it takes. He surrendered. 100% acceptance of where you are and asking this question. Me too. My husband loves that movie too. I believe you are moving into it, Susan. I believe you're there. Yes. Ask this question today. Have I provided for love's needs? Have I provided a way for love to express in the world today? Am I expressing all the love that it's possible for me to express today? And remember this. To the ego mind, surrender means giving up. To the spiritual mind, surrender means giving in and receiving. Receiving gracefully and gratefully. That's one of my mantras. Once we're there, inside the holy place where all is inner riches, the outer gold of worldly prosperity appears in miraculous ways. It comes inviting us to use our wealth responsibly, to share it generously, as the universe has so shared it with us. I'm going to reread this section on our next Course in Miracles day, but I want to leave you with this prayer, and then I got to run, and I'll be back at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So, dear God, I surrender to you who I am, what I have, and what I do. May my life and talents be used in whatever way serves love best. I surrender to you my failures and any pain still in my heart. I surrender to you my successes and the hopes that they contain. May the light of your love shine deep within my heart and extend through me to bless the world. Amen. Let me read that one more time to you, and I will put it in the Facebook group. Dear God, I surrender to you who I am, what I have, and what I do. You're surrendering your stories. You're willing to see life differently. May my life and talents be used in whatever way serves love best. I surrender to you my failures and any pain still in my heart. I surrender to you my successes and the hopes that they contain. May the light of your love shine deep within my heart and extend through me to bless the world. Amen. Express love today. Express your authentic self today. Say what you want to say. Do what feels the best to you to do. Find something today that lights you up and do it. And do it. And do it and do it. Yay. Yay us. Yay us for working so hard every day and allowing ourselves to become the answers to other people's prayers through extending our own work out into the world and extending our own love, being a conduit for love, being the answer to other people's prayers answers our own. Ooh, I feel all like zingy. I'm a zinger. I feel like a zinger. Not a chocolate zinger, an energy zinger. I lift you all up today in light and love, Michelle. That's a great statement. What a great intention for the day. I lift you all up today in light and love, says Michelle Lee. Okay, I'm going to go. I'll be back at 2. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you were all here today. Yes, lots of energy here today. Because I'm a more clear conduit today because I'm not exhausted. If you don't pay attention and your body gets too physically exhausted, you can't be as clear of a conduit. So, all right, love you bunches. See you in a few hours. Bye. You're welcome. You're so welcome.